China's strengths in electric vehicle sector are undeniable. China produces some of the most affordable and efficient energy efficient vehicles in the world.
Woo! Been busy today, folks. Welcome back to the channel. Oh, it's showing on me. I've got aching muscles and God knows what, but let's get to the point of this one.
And in order for Canada to build our own competitive EV sector, we need to learn from innovative partners, access their supply chains.
This one I'm going to have a quick chat about to you is the fact of Canada being so close to China all of a sudden. It's great. Now I say it's great only because it's going to piss one person off very directly in North America, and that's our old friend Mr. Trump. And again, I'm sorry to mention him, but I find it very weird now how cars and the auto industry have become super political. At one time, politics really had nothing to do with the auto scene. Just lately, because of the way that a certain country is pushing certain things out there with tariffs, it's definitely affected the way we look at the auto industry on an international basis. And of course, don't forget, with the mass changeover from fossil fuels to electric cars, trucks, buses, you name it. Since the tariffs came into the US, no one's had the chance of buying a Chinese car because they've all been outpriced, they're totally outpriced. But again, if you watch one of my videos, I don't know, 2-3 posts back, you'll see where I actually mentioned the man from Ford there who actually owned and ran a Chinese top range spec, I'd say sports car, in the USA.
And to help deliver the full potential of these partnerships and bring down costs for Canadians, Canada has agreed to allow up to...
Canada has never played the game with the USA, although they've been best buddies on paper. They've always had the differences, you know. Americans have never ever 100% got on with the Canadians. One guy came up to me in a bar and we got talking about Canada and North America in general and how he saw life and all the rest of it. And it's a quote that he made to me, and that was, "Never trust a country with two languages." And I thought, what's he talking about? But I get it. You know, a third French, 2/3 English. Because of these tariffs, they've had a fallout, like most of the countries around the world. And they were quite adamant about not taking Chinese cars into the country. Well, what a turn up this has been, folks. Okay, here's some more of the nitty-gritty of the facts. And that is that the first year, well, like I say, there'll be 49,000 vehicles allowed into Canada, which will be totally made, processed, manufactured, produced, whatever you want to call it, in China. Now, those vehicles can be any sort, any brand. I don't think they're going to limit it to a certain brand. So the first 49,000 will be a tariff cost of 6.1%. That is super low. For saying here in the UK we have an import duty of 10%, which is a tariff, okay, but it's 10%. So that's 6.1% for the first 49,000 this year. Obviously will expand and get bigger and bigger each year if they continue with this agreement and this contract they've got between the two countries. Like I say, Carney went in over there and he got this deal sorted. He's quite happy for this to happen, and good of him. You know, I can't really blame him for that. And especially at the 6.1% will make them very, very affordable in Canada. Imagine all the Chinese cars that could possibly be sold in the next 2 to 3 years in Canada, maybe upwards of 150,000 or whatever. And I think that number's going to go up. So let's say 200,000, you know, Chinese cars. Some of them are going to be going across the border on a daily basis, being driven around the US and be seen by Americans. And they're going to look at them, they're going to think, wow, yeah, whoa. Some will fall in love with them, the majority will. Some hardcore right-wingers will, I'm going to buy Ford, I'm going to buy Chevrolet. Well, sometimes it just don't work out that way, folks. If there's a better thing at a lot less money, you'll buy it. That's norm, that's human psyche. So, you know, they're going to be seen in America a lot with Canadian plates being driven around. And so that's really going to, you know, put a cat amongst the pigeons, because people are going to see them. They're going to be asked how much they were, and they're going to find out about Chinese cars a lot quicker than they would if they were not seen on the roads. It must be really twisting Trump's melon, because he thought Canada was on the same level when it came to Chinese vehicles. Well, they're not now. They shook hands on a lot of deals. I believe now Canadians can actually fly to China and go on a holiday for a certain short period of time without the Chinese visa. It's something else they've made an agreement on. America is so far afield from that, it makes again America look antiquated, like dinosaurs, in comparison to the country right above it with a massive border.
49,000 Chinese electric vehicles into the Canadian market, with the most favored nation tariff rate of 6.1%. This is a return to the levels that existed prior to recent trade frictions. But it's a return under an agreement that promises much more for Canadians. It's expected that within 3 years, this agreement will drive considerable Chinese investment in Canada's auto sector, creating good careers in Canada and accelerating our progress towards a net zero future and the auto industry of the future. With this agreement, it's also anticipated that within 5 years, more than 50% of these vehicles will be affordable EVs with an import price of less than $35,000.
But at least Carney, the Canadian Prime Minister, is going about it the right way. He's open to negotiation. The Americans are just not at the moment. The whole administration is just foolish, absolutely foolish. So yeah, lots going on, and it's a great deal for Canada, but an awful one for the USA. Imagine the Canadians who are buying North American built vehicles from Ford and GM. Now, if they're going to go out and buy a Chinese one, that's one less not being made in the USA and sold into Canada. Interesting. I think Trump ought to sit back and think and realise what he's actually doing here, because if he's not going to allow Chinese cars in without actually China going across and building a factory, because that's the only way he wants to do it. He wants the Chinese to think, no, okay, let's get a factory built, employ Americans, then you can sell your Chinese cars. Well, it ain't working that way. China does not need to do that at this particular time. Like I say, Geely have a factory in the southern states anyway, which I've done a video about if you want to go and check it out. Yep, that one there, look. That mentions all about Volvos, which are Geely's, Chinese, being made in North America already. But what he really wants, he wants a big Chinese, input, like BYD and NIO or XPeng or MG, Great Wall Motors or whatever, to go in there and start this huge manufacturing base and employ Americans. Sorry, it ain't going to happen. Canada's not had to do that. Canada's found a way of getting around it through other imports and exports, and that's the way to do it. So great news for Canada, bad news for the USA. A lot of job losses in the USA if it goes this route, because Canada buys a lot of US cars. So, as you heard there, Mr. Carney giving it all. You know what? I trust that guy 10 times more than I trust the guy running America at the moment. You see how calm he was? You see how forthright he was? That guy knows what he's doing. I hope it works out for them. And I really hope that it will bring jobs, because they're doing it slightly different again to what America expects. America expects, like I said before, Chinese to get off their arses, go across, spend billions of dollars making a factory and then employing Americans. Canada's not doing it that way. Wow, I just wish that America had a leader like that at the moment, because it would completely change the world we live in at the moment and the way that everyone thinks and talks about the USA. So it just amazes me how EVs in general and electric cars and the green energy process has caught on internationally to bring in politics the way it's been has done in the last 2 years, 3 years, because nothing else is doing that at the moment. Green policies and EVs are just so massive internationally now, and again, maybe it's good that China were the push and the pushing regime for EVs, because I don't think many other countries would have got away with what China's got away with, because China's done it so cheaply, brought EVs forward that much in the last 3 years. It's been phenomenal. And like I say, this is why I can't really go against Chinese EVs, because I do see them as part of the future of green energy, and a better environment. Canada is on my radar for our next road trip and our next vacation, because I don't want to go back to the US at this particular time. So yeah, it's kind of like in the balance at the moment. I'm pricing things up for a place called Banff, and then, you know, drive around the Rockies and then straight across Canada to the other side, to the east side of the provinces, and fly back out of there. But anyway, that's another story. Anyway, I think that's about it. It was just more the Canadian EV thing that I wanted to come on and do this for. I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to comment below and say how you see it in Canada and how it might affect the North American marketplace and production and sales and everything else of American cars in general, how GM and Ford could well be affected, let me know. Otherwise, I'm done. I'm in there. I've had a busy day. I'm going to pack this lot up, get this edited, get it out there for you. And I think that's about it. It is indeed. So my big hand's going to come up to that camera and say goodbye.